Hello, my name is Nicolas Polimenakos. I help out behind the scenes here at NORWAC, the Northwest Astrological Conference, which is happening May 21st to May 25th, just outside of Seattle, in person and online. You can go and get all your information at norwac.net. Today, I'm with Austin Coppock. Hello, Austin.
Hey, Nicholas, how are you doing?
I'm good, good. Good to see you. Good to see you. I think we met there at the conference maybe years ago. Was it there or an EBC or something? I don't know.
It
It's one
was
of
one
those.
of the two. It was a fine event in Seattle very, very long ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, basically. And I said EBC, that's Esoteric Book Conference, both Seattle events, but years ago. And I think we both have a history. Many of our colleagues have a history in NORWAC for many different reasons. And so this year, you're doing a pretty amazing, huge, unique pre-conference workshop that happens on Thursday, May 21st at 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's a 5-hour pre-conference workshop. We don't normally do these, kind of happen on a special Thursday. The name of this is called Seven Celestial Venoms, the planets and the nodes. So some people get creeped out. Some people will completely gravitate towards this, hearing the venoms. So tell us a little bit about this. I'm one of these people who will walk and run towards something like this. So
Yeah, yeah, I thought it might be a somewhat divisive title, but so this is about the pairing of the seven visible planets with the nodes. And the nodes, the head and tail of the dragon, Rahu and Ketu, the north and south node of the moon, are almost universally understood through serpentine and draconic symbolism. And the idea of poison or venom is universally associated with them. In fact, the little squiggles, the glyphs that we use for the north and south node, are from the symbol that's on the cobra, the king cobra's hood. Right, you
oh,
can see the noble nodal symbol, and the way it's facing for the head of the serpent or the dragon is what it would look like if you looked down and a cobra was heading towards you. But if you watched a cobra departing or going away,
oh.
it would be turned upside down and you would literally see the symbol for the tail. Right. So I'm not just being creepy and goth about about the title. Also, what I figured is maybe one of the people at the conference would get the classic kung fu movie reference of the five deadly poisons, seven celestial
uh,
victims. It's
yeah,
okay. It
yeah.
I wasn't waiting to have that appreciated. But again, the how should we say, the symbolic motifs, the theming for the nodes is almost universal throughout history and across the earth. Like this, the persistence of thinking about the nodes and their effects in terms of dragons and mighty primordial serpents is everywhere. And so I wanted to, and so, obviously when you think of venom, you think of something that can harm you, and the nodes being the points that designate where eclipses happen, show where eclipses, which are often enough harmful in their effects, happen. And yet, if we think about the symbol of the serpent shows up in literally with literally every healthcare provider
Mhm.
in our world. Like
Yeah.
the serpent, I'm referencing the staff of Asclepius, which is the stick with the serpent wound around it, is just as much a symbol of healing as it is a symbol of being harmed. And the relationship between medicine and poison is one that is especially relevant for thinking about the notes. They the effects that they have on people, or when you see them combined with planets, you often see the actions of that planet in the person's chart and life, acting as if, how should we say, on a crazy drug, right? And what's interesting is that we have between the categories of medicine and poison drug, which it's like, I don't know, is that meta? Is that healing? Is that hurting? Usually, anything that's powerful enough to have an effect that you take does some things that you like and does some things that you don't like. And
Mhm.
so it's in that sort of trinity of poison, medicine, and then question mark drug that you see the effects of the nodes, right? If the mighty dragon sinks its teeth into one of your planets, like is it empowered? Yes. Is it potentially intoxicated? Yes. Is that and so that's sort of the how should we say medicinal alchemical framework that I'm coming at an exploration of each of the planets and what it does and what it doesn't do, what it likes to do, what it hates to do when it's combined with the North Node and the South Node. And so, despite this, I don't know, kind of this larger framework, the structure of the workshop is going to be relatively simple in the sense that we're going to explore all 14 of these combinations
Mhm.
in depth. We'll be looking at that from a theoretical level. How does each planet like or dislike being combined with the head and the head and or the tail? Like, what are the compatibilities? What are easier combinations?
Mhm.
Obviously, the sun and the moon, which get eclipsed by the nodes, have a different relationship to the nodes than, say, Mars, which is never Mars is not eclipsed by the lunar nodes, right? Nor is Venus or Mercury or Jupiter or Saturn. And so, yeah, we're going to spend a goodly amount of time in each of those categories and thinking about again, looking at examples, like doing the theoretical, doing the practical, and thinking about, in as much as possible, how to transmute the poison into medicine, right?
Mhm.
When we see an instance where that nodal effect looks much more like poison than it does any sort of pleasant intoxication or empowerment. And
Yeah, it's just because you're talking about this right now, basically at the end of July, many of us know the nodes are going to switch up. I'm going to have a nodal return, but I'm born with a Mars North Node conjunction.
oh, are you?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So listen, everybody watching, as soon as I said that, you just have to go back, rewind, and look back at his facial expression that he gave as soon as I said that. Okay.
Yeah, I have the opposite of a poker player's face. Well, I'll just say
Yeah.
Mars Rahu or Mars Head of the Dragon people they're doers. Um,
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
really good at not doing or admitting defeat, sometimes to their detriment, but y'all are
Yeah.
doers.
Yeah. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. I have no choice. So I double, triple down
That's
on that. Um,
if you attend the workshop, I will give you a number of eminent examples of eminent people who also doubled down and then tripled down and quadrupled down, and sometimes lost it all, and sometimes became known as the very best in their
yeah.
field in history.
Yeah. Oh, good. I need to hear that sometimes. I think we're recording this actually with an Aquarius moon coming through too. I just find this interesting. We're talking about here. Saying that, listen, Thursday, anybody watching, you want more info on this? You want to know the schedule, the times of the pre-conference workshops, or any of the other lectures, the speaker bios, go to norwac.net. It doesn't stop there for you, Austin. That's a pretty
No.
amazing way to jump into the conference on Thursday. There's another speaking engagement, a communicative a moment that happens on Sunday, May 24th at 1:45 p.m. This is called a bouquet of silver and black, the system of lunar days.
Yeah. So silver and black, of course, being the dark and light of the moon. So lunar days is a more detailed and sophisticated way of thinking about the phases of the moon than is currently practiced. And yet, if we look into the history of astrology, and magic, as well as if we look to contemporary Vedic astrology, we see this system with greater resolution, detail, and nuance looking right at us. We also will find the logic for, I don't know, three-quarters of holidays throughout all of history in the system of lunar days.
Mm, mhm,
Lunar days is just it's looking at all of the possible relationships between the sun and the moon, right? All of which happen every single month, right? That is the waxing, fullness, and then waning down to nothing of the moon again. And so lunar days say are the system originates from, what if we divide that by the number of days it takes? And then
mm,
each day, which is it's 29.5, so we have one system that rounds that down. We have 29 lunar days. The other system rounds it up to 30, but we divide by 29 or 30, and we said, what if each of those divisions has its own quality, because each is a unique angle of relationship between the
mm,
sun and the moon, right? And the sun and the moon are the core of a natal chart, but they're also the core of time, right? From the sun, we get the year, and then from the moon, we get the month. Um, and so, in looking at the relationship between the sun and the moon, we're in a sense seeing what time it is, and each moment in time, in this case, in this case, divided. So it's like what is this day like, right? These 30 days keep recurring, where it's the sun and moon in this relationship. What can arise? What is supported in its arising
mm.
at this time, right?
Yeah.
And so what we find is historically a huge number, I would just say an overwhelming number of holy days, of feast days, of religious ritual days have this particular relationship between the sun and the moon as the determining factor for what pins them to the calendar.
Mhm,
We also see in some of the Eastern Mediterranean originated grimoires that these 30 days or these 29 days, these divisions, are also considered to have each of them a magical potency that we can and should use for picking days when to act magically. And I would say also from an electional point of view, when to act normally,
mm,
when to initiate. And so we have this nice as we say, this nice tool for just for thinking about the relationship between the sun and the moon throughout every month, every lunar month, and what thrives in that space. The logic of this, I think, was probably described best by astrologer Sanjay Roth when talking about using this instead of solar returns, right? Because this is
ah,
also an alternative for solar returns, as well as when religious festivals are scheduled, as well as when to do your magic. And in speaking about it as an alternate system of solar returns, where instead of the day that the sun returns to the exact moment that it was at your birth, it's you pick the moment when the sun was in the same sign as it was when you were born, but then the moon and sun had the same relationship. And
uh-huh.
Sanjay, in speaking about this, said about the sun and the moon as mother and father. Were you just born from your father? Right? Is it just the sun that
Yeah,
creates the moment, or was it the relationship between the sun and the moon, between mother and father, that was in fact responsible for your coming into the world?
yeah,
It
like
was
that,
pretty compelling.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. And normally we're thinking about the sun coming back to the exact position, but to do the phase itself, the relating phase itself moment is when you came in. Yeah, well, why are we going to forget about the moon?
Right.
So,
We're
yeah,
the
yeah.
result of a relationship.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like, by the way, too, on the description here in Port of it's, so to understand this method, it says here we will draw on ancient calendars. I'm sure you're going to be relating to some of those holidays or celebrations and stuff that happens that are intertwined with these lunar moments, mysterious
Absolutely.
grimoires, Vedic texts. I like this. And so, again, anybody. this is interesting. On Sunday at 1:45 p.m., this is when you're going to do your second lecture there. I want to tell people watching, especially you're thinking about watching online. We still got a couple tickets in person. If you're in the Pacific Northwest area, you can go walk in and check out the conference. But for those thinking about purchasing online, all the information is at norwac.net. Um, you purchase, you have a couple weeks after the conference is done to watch all the lectures. The other thing is we do these Q&As that happen in between the lecture tracks. So once the lecture is over, there's like 30 to 40 minutes until the next lecture starts. While everybody's at the hotel getting a cup of coffee or running around until the next lecture, we do these Q&As that happen with the speakers at NORWAC. Austin, you're going to be a part of one that's going to happen on Saturday, if I'm correct here. Let me get it right. 11:50 a.m. Your Q&As is yourself, Jason Hawley, Catherine Urban, and Andrea Gertz. So we got different minds here that come in for 30 to 40 minutes. Anybody watching that's in the Zoom rooms, they usually ask a question, and this kind of improvisational conversation manifests and appears. And so that happens in between lectures for the whole weekend. Thursday, right after Austin, right after your pre-conference lecture is done, right at the tail end on Thursday, we're going to open up and have an open house online for anybody who's got questions or just to hang and just to start to get ready for the weekend. I will be there from the hotel, and our host, Samantha Hammer, online, who also hosts a Saturday night party virtually online. So again, trying to the bridge between the in-person and the hybrid and to capture the energy of NORWAC into the virtual realm. All right. Austin, it's going to be good to see you again, my friend,
Yeah,
in
definitely.
person. It's a thing. There's a lot of people that we see, friends and colleagues, and then there's the people who walk through the doors for the first time or come through virtually the first time, probably wondering how it's going to be, a little freaked out, maybe not have any friends, but don't and then realize within the first 24 hours that they're speaking the language to each other, having a pint of beer together, and everything changes.
Yeah.
The transmutation happens. And by Sunday night, that person has a different look in their eye. So again, anybody interested, go to norwac.net, and then we'll hopefully have some transmutation process there in person, Austin. Um,
Yeah, I think I'll plan on it.
yeah, yeah. So again, thanks for coming on, Austin, and we'll see all of you May 21st to May 25th.